Okay guys, welcome to another video. I'm really excited for today's video and I think you guys will enjoy it and have some fun. So before I start this video off, I do want to tag a couple people. Okay, so the first channel I want to tag is Lazy Man Prepper. He took a couple months off, but I'm glad to see him back. Welcome back, Lazy Man. The second one would be Prepper Pulpery. Okay, and then the third one is the Preppers Bunker Outdoors. Those people I don't know personally, but I subscribe and I watch videos that they put out. Now, with that being said, if you're another smaller kind of upcoming channel type thing, and you're subscribed to my channel and you find this topic interesting and you want to make a video response or you want to accept this challenge, feel free, go right ahead. If you do make a video, try and leave a comment or let me know in a private message, and I'll link to your video in the description box below. The slightly larger channels I want to tag, one is Larry Roberts. He runs a bushcrafting channel. The second one is Living Survival. The next one would be Feral Woodcraft. The next one would be Survival on Purpose, and the one after that would be Prepared Mind 101. So I tagged Prepared Mind 101 last. The reason why is even though my challenge is a semi-original challenge, he does a lot of ammo can survival kits, 5 pound, 10 pound. He did a 5 pound survival kit challenge last year, and the challenge was you put together a survival kit that weighs 5 pounds or less, and I did a video response to that. I think he's having one this winter, making like a 10 or a 15 pound survival kit, and part of the challenge is you go out in the woods and you spend the night, 1 or 2 nights you camp out, which is pretty cool. But he's done like ammo box, ammo can, survival kits and stuff like that, which I always found interesting. I always thought they were pretty cool. So maybe consider accepting this challenge and turning it into a video, because I think a lot of people would find them interesting. A lot of your viewers would find them interesting. So the challenge is we're going to make a survival kit or a bug out bag or whatever you want to call it. I kind of just term it a 72-hour kit slash a survival kit, and we're going to make it out of a 5-gallon bucket. And you might not think that's anything special, and you might be like, well, why a 5-gallon bucket? Well, a 5-gallon buckets, almost everybody owns at least one. If you don't own one, they're really cheap. They're waterproof. They're very durable. I've used them for a lot of things, and I mean they can break eventually. They're very durable. Other thing is you can empty the whole thing out, and you can use it to collect water. You can use it to. I've used it actually as a live trap, and if you don't know how, maybe I'll do a video on it. But a live trap to catch squirrels and stuff like that, small birds. You can make a live trap. You can use it to gather stuff. Like I said, it's waterproof, it's universal, it doesn't scream a lot of attention. One other aspect of it is maybe you have tons of extra survival gear that you could make a kit in a 5-gallon bucket and store it at a relative's house or a friend's house. I want to stipulate before I tear into this thing, what I'm packing and what you pack might be totally different. So the whole point of this challenge isn't really to argue with me and say, oh, you don't have to pack that, you should pack this. If you have input or you have your own kind of opinion on what you would pack, that's the whole point of doing a video response or replying to me in video form and making your own kit. Like I said, I kind of set my kit up as it could be a bug out bag, but kind of a survival kit, kind of a universal kit. So it could be, I might stick this in the trunk of my car for if I go off the road or something like that. It could be a blackout type bag, so if you lose electricity, there's capability there. Natural disasters, man-made disasters. Again, this isn't something you really just march into the woods with. And then if you get lost in the woods, you have all this equipment. Again, it's more of kind of a survival kit slash, I call it a 72-hour kit because it has more emphasis on disaster preparedness. So you might be wondering like, well, show us your bucket. Okay then. So this is the bucket right here. And what I did with mine, and I'm not saying you need to do this with yours, is I converted it into a backpack, which I will demonstrate lightly in this video, and then we'll also go through and see what I have in it. Okay guys, so this is my bucket. I chose orange for high visibility and maybe so it can double as a signaling device. I got this bucket from Home Depot for I think $7, $5, something like that. You can get them even cheaper at a supermarket in the bakery department because their frostings and different baking supplies come in 5-gallon buckets. I also put a Gamma Seal on it so it has a twist top, as you can see. Now before I get into the bag, I know a lot of people will be interested in how I put these straps on. What we have here, it's called the Hill People Gear shoulder harness. I'm not saying you need to buy this harness, but I had an extra one laying around, so I decided to utilize it with this kit. So pretty much it's kind of a U-shaped harness, or a one-piece harness. It has top straps and bottom straps. So what I did here is I took the carry handle off, and in those holes I used S-beaners. I don't know what size these are, maybe a 3 or something like that. They're made by Night Eyes, they're stainless steel, and they're not rated for climbing, but I mean they probably have 100 pounds capacity for each one. And these thread perfect right into these holes. Okay. Then I took the straps that come with the shoulder harness and I put the other end through the S-beaner. Did the same thing on the other side. For the bottom, this is climbing rated nylon, so this can serve, if you want to take the strap off, you can use this for binding or something like that. It has like a 4,000 pound breaking strength, so it's kind of multi-purpose. And then I just thread that through, and then I might get close-up pictures of this, but what I did here is on the back side I drilled 3 1/8 inch holes, 1/8, 3/16, something like that, into the lip, so it didn't compromise the waterproof feature of this bucket. So it's just into the bottom. Then I put 3 very strong zip ties. Now some of you might say, well, that's not durable, those zip ties will break over time, and I understand they will. Again, this isn't a permanent type solution. This is making do with what you got. And then also, if these do break, I have extra zip ties within the kit so you could easily fix this. So like I said, it has the Gamma Seal. I would recommend doing this modification. Just the Gamma Seal itself is I think about $10, but it makes it a lot easier to get in and out of this kit and access it. If you don't have a Gamma Seal, you'll need one of those lifters, and depending on your hand strength you can do it by hand, and it's just a pain in the ass, so I would just do the Gamma Seal. So first, it's packed pretty tight, but at the same time there's some extra space, so I could take the harness out and stick that whole rig in here right on top, and then that way when I need it, when it's game time, I can take that harness out, rig it up, and carry it. The first thing I have is a pair of rag wool gloves. They're inexpensive, they're pretty warm, they're not the most durable, but frankly I just don't like having cold hands. So next, this is 100 feet of tan paracord on this poor man's spool tool. You can get these at Menards for like 40 or 50 cents. This is my food bag, which I'll go into in a second. This is a stainless steel GSI cup that can double as a pot. You can boil on it and stuff like that. This is a vapor collapsible water bottle. This is called a Kafuro pull-out pouch made out of sil nylon, and in here I kind of have just quick essentials. So I have a little first aid kit, I have a compass, a lighter, a little flashlight, a Leatherman wave, and this is some micro paracord. We got a Sunto compass, and then we got like some duct tape. Like I said, a Leatherman wave, a lighter, and a flashlight. The next thing is a quick, down and dirty, very simple trauma kit. So this is to treat major injuries. So it has a trauma dressing, or Israeli compression bandage, soft T tourniquet, decompression needle, quick clot, and then a SWAT T tourniquet. We have some toilet paper and 2 after sports wipes. So these are just more for hygiene. And then we have, this is called a Lucy lantern, and it's a collapsible lantern that you blow up. And then I'm not going to blow it up, but it has kind of a dim white light, a lower power white light, flashing white light and then a red flashing. And this is more of a morale booster type thing. You know, some people get a little bit peace of mind when there's a little bit of illumination. It's very compact, lightweight, and I had it on hand, so I threw it in here. We got a bundle of resin wood. So this is resin impregnated wood. I think I got this, I forget what type of tree I got this from. Isn't really necessary, but it makes starting a fire, you know, in 2 minutes really quick. The next thing, I have this multi-cam, it's called an OPSEC poncho, and it's a poncho so you can wear it as you walk so you don't get super soaked in water from a rainstorm and get hypothermia. But the other thing is, I've used this so many times to make a poncho hooch or a lean-to or any type of survival type shelter. It's really quick. It's multicam, so if you're in the woods it does blend in. It's about 5.5 feet by 8.5 feet, I think. So it's not a huge tarp, but it's multifunctional. It can also serve as a rain catch. You can lay it out and collect rainwater, and then have the water drain through the hood into your 5-gallon bucket. The next thing is called a super tough. It's just a plastic drop cloth. It's 2 mil. That's how thick it is, and it's 9 feet by 12 feet. I didn't have enough space to put a tent or a really nice sleeping bag or anything like that. So what I've used this for before is, I think Morris Kahansky was the guy that kind of invented it, so to speak. And I could be mistaken, maybe he didn't, but you pretty much use this in conjunction with a fire, and you make a wilderness sauna. And it's a very cold weather survival shelter that stays very, very warm. So in a life or death situation, this can make a nice super shelter for about 2 people. The next thing is my beloved SOL Escape Bivy. Again, if I don't want to go to the trouble of making a super shelter, or it's just not cold enough for that to make sense, I can bundle up in this. So again, this isn't the warmest thing out there, but for its size, it's fairly efficient. In conjunction with this, for my shelter, my sleeping system, this is called a Kafaro Wooby. I'm not going to pull it out, but it's made by Kafaro, so if you don't know that company, I might link down below. And it's pretty much a insulated blanket made out of sil nylon, and it has, I think, like 3 or 4 ounces of Primaloft or ClimaShield, some type of puffy insulation. Very warm. I've used it as a sleeping bag down to about 25 degrees. I use it at home sometimes if we have a power outage and the house is kind of cold. The girlfriend uses it all the time, and it isn't as efficient as a sleeping bag, but I've also used this to make shelters. So it's a little more multifunctional than a sleeping bag. You can also wear it as a shawl, or as a coat. If you're walking and you're really cold, you can drape this around you. The next thing is one of my favorite knives. This is the Blackjack Model 5. Just kind of an extra knife. It has some dirt and some gunk on it, but it's made out of A2 steel. It has a 5-inch blade, very sharp, stays sharp for a long time, and I just like the looks of it, and I just really like this knife. Is it the best knife out there? No, there's no such thing as the best knife out there. I'm just a big fan of this knife. That's why I included it in this kit. The next thing is the Silky Gone Boy 240. I think this is the 240. So a folding saw. Silky Saw, in my opinion, is the best brand of folding survival saw. Everybody has their preference. Some people like the Bako Laplander, some people like the Corona. The next thing might confuse a lot of people, but this is a pair of hand pruners that I use all the time. They're made by Stihl, the chainsaw company. And the reason I included these is, first, they're really sharp, and then second, sometimes you want to make stuff, steaks and different stuff like that, when you want to use green sticks. And these slide in a pocket really easy. So if you're collecting willow or dogwood branches to weave a basket, or you're collecting green sticks and stuff to make stakes or different projects, it's a lot easier to snip with a pair of these than try and saw it. The other thing is when you're processing down kindling or like small sticks, instead of breaking it, or you're not trying to make a lot of noise, maybe there's other people around you and you don't want to make all that noise, clipping with this is very silent, but they're very lightweight, they're compact, they're super sharp, and I use them all the time. The last thing I have in here is, it's called a Gryle water bottle. And I was going to put a stainless steel clean canteen in here, or my stainless steel canteen, because yes, you can boil on those. But this, I decided to put this one instead for a couple of reasons, which I'll talk about. The Gryle water bottle has a water filter incorporated inside of it, so you pull this out. I'm not going to demonstrate it, but you pull the top part out. Okay, and it has a filter on the bottom, so you fill this with dirty water and then you force this down. And then inside of here, as you can see, I have wet fire, which are fire starters. I have tinder quicks, which are fire starters. I have another wet fire. I have a Petzl E-light. You can see that. One of my favorite headlamps, very reliable, long battery runtime, a great utility light. You can also wear it as a wrist, or you can wear it on your wrist. I got my Streamlight Stylus Pro, again not the best flashlight out there, but very compact, very dependable, long runtime. So it doesn't have a lot of brightness, but it has like an 8-hour runtime. I carried this for many years and it never failed me, so this is a pretty reliable flashlight. The next thing is ferrocerium rod. So this is made by UST. I don't know the name, it doesn't really matter, but just another way to start a fire. And then I got two light sticks. These ones are yellow. These are made by, these are authentic, very compliant, military type issue. And then the last thing is these are aqua tabs, so water treatment tablets. But in this stuff sack here is my food bag. So I have a tack bar emergency ration. I have a bag of Werther's, they're kind of caramel coffee flavored candy. Again, a morale booster, extra calories. They're kind of just straight sugar and carbs. I got a chocolate bar, a dark chocolate bar. I have and then I have 4 protein builder bars. So these have 20 grams of protein. They don't have the longest shelf life, you know, but they have a shelf life of a couple years. I've eaten these when they're a couple years old and they're just fine. And then I have a handful, about 6 packets of licorice spiced tea, some of my favorite. And then I have some Folgers single serving coffee packets, so they're kind of like tea bags. Again, you don't need coffee, but some people are subconsciously addicted to caffeine, or they just need that fix, or they need a little boost of energy, whatever the case may be. So I threw some coffee in there. And then the last item, again, is the bucket. It can be used to collect firewood. It can be used to collect edible, like wild edibles or plants. It can be used as a live trap. You can use it to trap fish. You can use it to collect water, to treat water, etc. So the bucket itself has a lot of purposes. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope that the people I tagged, or just my viewers in general, do some video response type videos. I want to see what they would put in a 5-gallon bucket, and I'd love to see them accept this challenge. If you're new to my channel, go back to my homepage, watch some of my current videos. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And like I said at the start of this video, if you feel so inclined, feel free to make a survival kit out of a 5-gallon bucket. Film it, show it to me, and I will put the link to your video in the description below this video. But until next time, stay safe out there and have fun making your 5-gallon survival kit.